In today's video, we are beginning Lesson 20 in Journeys. I cannot believe we have already made it through that many lessons this school year. In today's lesson, we are going to be reading our new story of the week. We will also be working complete an activity in our reader's notebook. So let's get started. Our target skill for this week is cause and effect. Sometimes one event makes another event happen. The cause happens first. It is the reason why something else happens. The effect is what happens next. As you read, ask yourself what happens and why. You can use a chart like this one below to help us understand causes and effects. Our target strategy this week is to infer or predict. We can use text evidence to figure out more and what might happen next. Our topic for our story is about feelings. When someone tells a joke, you laugh. When a friend moves away, you are sad. When something scary happens, you may get frightened. People show their feelings in many different ways. Who can help you feel better when you feel bad? You will read about what happens when Little Rabbit gets scared in Little Rabbit's tale. Our story, Little Rabbit's Tale, is written by Wong Herbert Yi, and it is illustrated by Richard Bernal. The genre of our story is a folk tale. A folk tale is an old story told for many years. In our story, be looking for a lesson about life, animals who act like people, and also the words happily ever after. Our essential question for our story is, how can you help a friend who feels sad? So be thinking about this question as we read through our story. How can you help a friend who feels sad? Little Rabbit sleeps under an old apple tree. Just then, the wind starts to blow. The branches shift in the wind. Thump! Something hits Little Rabbit. Oh no! The sky is falling! Yells Little Rabbit. I've got to try to tell everyone. Little Rabbit hops off to find Goose. What causes Little Rabbit to wake up? We can see if we look in our picture, the apple fell from the tree and hit Little Rabbit in the head. This is a good example of cause and effect. The cause was an apple falling on Little Rabbit's head, and the effect of this is that Little Rabbit thought the sky was falling. Let's see what happens next. Goose sits in his rowboat. The tip of his rod starts to twitch. There's no time to fish, yells Little Rabbit. The sky is falling. Why do you think the tip of the rod began to twitch? Goose is in his rowboat any ideas on what would make his rod twitch? If you have ever been fishing, when a fish begins to bite on your line, your fishing rod will twitch. Let's go, little rabbit. We need to tell Beaver. Goose and little rabbit use the rowboat. They go up the stream. Goose peeks inside. Beaver is eating a snack. There's no time to eat, says Goose. Let's go! The sky is falling! Oh my, says Beaver. We need to go tell Turtle. Beaver, Goose, and little rabbit dash up the hill. Turtle sleeps under a log. Tap, tap. Beaver taps on Turtle's shell. Turtle peeks out. There's no time to sleep, says Beaver. Let's go. The sky is falling. Oh no, yells Turtle. What can we do? Let's run back home, says little rabbit. I want to tell my mother. Why does Beaver tap on Turtle's shell on page 168? Well, Turtle was asleep, and they wanted to wake him up. In the picture, we can see that Beaver is tap, tap on Turtle's shell. Do you have an idea for where Turtle might live? We see that Turtle is almost under a log. We could say that the setting where Turtle lives is in the woods. Turtle, Beaver, Goose, and little rabbit run fast. They hop over the log, dash down the hill, and jump into Goose's rowboat. Then they go as fast as they can down the stream. What do you think little rabbit will tell his mother when he gets home? What do you think his mother will say or do? Let's see what we find out. Little Rabbit hops in the door. Mother, the sky is falling. Who told you such a thing? Asks Mother Rabbit. Beaver told me, says Turtle. Goose told me, says Beaver. Little Rabbit told me, says Goose. Well, let's just go outside and look at the sky, says Mother Rabbit. Were your predictions right about what Mother Rabbit would say? When Little Rabbit told Mother Rabbit that the sky was falling, Mother Rabbit simply said, well, let's just go outside and look at the sky. Just then, the wind starts to blow. The branches shift in the wind. Thump! Something hits little rabbit. Where have we seen this before? Do you recognize these words? Especially the word thump. If we go back to the very beginning of our story, we see where little rabbit first got hit by the apple, and our page says, thump, something hits little rabbit. Oh no, the sky is falling, yells little rabbit. The sky is not falling, laughs Mother Rabbit. An apple just fell from the apple tree. What lesson do you think the characters learn on this page? Once little rabbit was able to see that the sky was not falling, it was just an apple that fell on his head. What lesson do you think he could learn from this? Think about when it first happened. When something hit little rabbit on the head, he immediately thought that the sky was falling. He ran and told all of his friends and worried a lot of people over something that just wasn't true. The lesson that little rabbit could learn is to first think about our actions and see if we can find a reason for why something happened. If you were sleeping and something randomly hit you in the head, would you first think that the sky was falling out of the sky? Maybe not. You would probably look around for the object that hit you in the head. Then maybe you would tell somebody that it happened. But I don't think a lot of us would think that the sky was falling and run and go tell everybody and get them to worry. I didn't get to catch a fish, says Goose. I didn't get to eat my snack, says Beaver. I didn't get to sleep, says Turtle. How do you think that little rabbit is feeling on this page that we read? All of his friends are saying the things that they didn't get to do today. When you look at Rabbit's face, he almost looks nervous or maybe even a little bit upset. He could even be feeling silly because he told everybody that the sky was falling, and none of his friends got to do any of their activities today because of that. I've got a plan, says Little Rabbit. Can my friends eat with us? Yes, says Mother Rabbit. Go wash your hands while I get more plates. Hooray! Little Rabbit has a nice meal with his friends. After that, they all have homemade apple treats. The friends lived happily ever after. What text evidence in the words and pictures helped you know that this story was a folk tale? If you remember, at the very beginning of the story, we talked about how in a folk tale, a lesson about life is learned. In a folk tale, animals also act like people. There was one more detail. In a folk tale, the author often uses words such as happily ever after. If you look at the last sentence in our story, it says, the friends lived happily ever after. For today's activity in your reader's notebook, we are going to be working on page 62. This week we started talking about compound words, and we will continue to talk about them next week. A compound word is when you can take two words and put them together and it will create a new word. For example, if you take the words play and ground, if you put them together, you get playground. The same goes for the words class, room. If you put them together, you get classroom. Your directions for this activity tell you to name each picture. Circle two words to make a compound for the picture. Then write the compound word. For number 1, look at what you think this is a picture of. You will look at the two words on top. We have the words see, pea, and then the endings nut, side. Let's do number 1 together. On number 1, this is a picture of a peanut. So we will circle the word pea and the word nut. If you take those two words and put them together, you get peanut. So we will write the word peanut in the blank for number 1. Peanut becomes peanut. For the rest of your problems, you will need to look at the picture and choose what two words would make the compound. One word would be from the top row, and the second word would be from the bottom row. Then you will write the compound word in the blank. If you get stuck or need an example, just look at number 1. We first said what the picture was, then found the first word, pea, and the second word, nut. Then we wrote the compound word, peanut, peanut. Once you have completed writing all of the compound words, you will be all done with this activity.